Airline is the business of transporting paying passenger and freight by air along regularly scheduled routes.
So the firstly is national flag carrier and commercial airline. What is the difference between national flag carrier and commercial airline? Alright. National flag carrier is owned by the government, and such as in Malaysia we have Malaysia Airline, in Indonesia we have Garuda Airline, and in Thai we have Thai Airway International. And for the commercial airline is non-governmental airline, which in the simple way, commercial airline is a private sector, private sector, such as, for example, in Malaysia we have Malindo Air. Alright, what is LCC? Low cost carrier. Low cost carrier offer low fare, but they charge extra on others, such as on food, on baggage, on seat allocation, and as an example, in Malaysia we have AirAsia and Firefly. Next is the charter airline. Charter airline offer the basic rented flight. This is between the traveller purchase a package from the tour operator. Alright, let's say a group of Chinese from China fly to Kota Kinabalu, Sabah for a golf activity, and they actually rented the whole flight, so they can customize in terms of time, in terms of flight schedule, because they are rented the whole flight. As an example, in Malaysia we have Paramount Business Jet, and Sabah Air Aviation, and others private sector. Online reservation system is also called as a passenger service system that also related with GDS and CRS, computer reservation system, and global distribution system, that all of these support travel agencies and other distribution channel for reservation on a flight system. As an example, in Malaysia we have Abacus system, Galileo, and Amadeus reservation system. You guys can check it out, okay? Okay, in ARS system we have flight schedule availability and seat availability. The second one is flight fare quote and rules. Right, for the fare quote and rules, we look in terms of length of stay. We must know how many days they stay, and the date, also the type of cabin, in economy or business class, and booking code. Alright, for the passenger information, we must know the basic one, such as passenger name, the payment detail, the contact detail of the passenger, the record allocator, and what is the special request from passenger, such as the meals, the baggage allowance, and wheelchair request. Some of passenger will request wheelchair. And the next is electronic ticketing, which is e-ticket or boarding pass. Okay.
Hello, Assalamualaikum. My name is Hanimulfika binti Ahmad Hisham, and I will present about the next slide, which is decision support system and marketing customer relationship management. So, what is decision support system? It is based on operation models constitute a significant amount of airline computer applications. It is also a system that based on sophisticated models which use what if and and sensitivity analysis to investigate the impact of various factors on operation. So the following section that discussed in the SS is fleet management and revenue management. Okay, for the fleet management, they have a fleet represent a significant investment and investor expect profits. So the IT solution can optimize the use of the fleet as below. So they have three fleets, which is fleet acquisition, fleet assignment, and fleet maintenance. So the first one is fleet acquisition. It is an airline that needs a data to support decision about what type of each aircraft to acquire, when and how many. So that the IT system provide information such as operating costs of different aircraft types on particular routes. This information is linked to scheduling and revenue management. Although aircraft acquisition may also be based on customer preference. Fleet assignment. So fleet assignment is for aircraft to routes should maximize profit while ensuring the efficient use of the fleet. Computer model time, space, networks to ensure the optional assignment of an airline's fleet. For the fleet maintenance, the fleet maintenance is to schedule for each aircraft, and computerized system ensure the all aircraft receive maintenance check at specific intervals so that the database that contain information about each aircraft and the maintenance schedule for individual parts. They also generate reports so they check and servicing are not overlooked. Okay, next I will talk about flight scheduling. It is about the complete task requiring route planning to maximize an airline's return on investment in aircraft, terminal facilities, and people. So it has 9 in it, so I will explain one by one. So the first one is strategic goal. It is a strategic decision such as which market to serve, how to respond to competing schedule and pricing, and access to resources such as suppliers, employees, and terminal facility that can impact the long-term availability of routes. For the route network, it is to ensure that aircraft utilization is maximized and connections are convenient for the passengers. For the passenger demand, it is for airlines that use sophisticated revenue management models to project demand for each route. It, it is also to scheduling flights on high demand days and times, optimize load factors and profits. Okay. The alliance, an airline must consider not only its own schedule, but also those of alliance partners so that connecting flights are convenient. Okay, the next one is aircraft type, which is how the operating characteristic such as the capacity, range, and fuel efficiency of different aircraft, maintenance schedule, and turnaround times all impact scheduling. Okay, for the human resource, the availability of flight crew and industrial relation legislation government that working condition of flight crew. So it consists maximum shift durations, recuperation, and changeover of crews that need to be considered. Okay, for the environmental and safety regulation, airlines and airports must comply with this statement, and which can scheduling including inspection, maintenance schedule, and noise restriction. Okay. For the airport restriction, they have curfew, congestion, air traffic control, landing slot, and gate availability can limit the departure and arrival windows for a particular route. Some airports also have physical limitation restriction the type of aircraft that can land. So the airport restriction means that they limit how many aircraft that can fly or can land at certain airport. For the contingency planning, it is exogenous and erratic factors such as weather, air traffic control delays, and technical failures that must be considered by scheduling system as well. Okay, next one is revenue management. So revenue management is the same like hotel room. The airline seat can be sold at different prices. So the first price is differentiate, whereby seats on the same flight are offered at different prices with different rules and features. The second one is yield management. It is to determine the number of seats, which is booking limit, for each fare class at any given time. So they have 4: revenue management, which is historical data, forecasting, modeling, and decision support. So first, for historical data, it is to capture and analyze historical booking data to identify pattern and trends. The next one is forecasting. It is to predict future demand based on historical data and other input. For modeling, recommendation on booking limits and overbooking level that optimize expected flight revenue using mathematical models. The last but not least, decision support. It has an interactive decision support, allows revenue managers to review, accept or reject the booking limits and overbooking levels. Okay, next I will talk about marketing and customer relationship management, which is under direct booking, that have 3 features, which is basic features, pivotal features, and supplementary features. So for the basic features, it is such as flight information, booking, and check-in tools that are expected and will cause dissatisfaction if they are not present. Okay. For the pivotal features, it can support trust and interaction between the airline and its passengers will create the satisfaction. So pivotal features as well, it can secure online transaction and frequent flyer management tools to enhance the utility of airline websites. Okay. For the supplementary features, it is the ability to make special requests and buy upgrades. It is for complementary product that can enhance satisfaction. Okay, for the loyalty programs, it is about a full service airline that offer customer loyalty programs known as frequent flyer programs, which is FFPs. So the passenger that become the members of this program to receive benefits and enroll in the program to accumulate points or miles corresponding to the distance flown on the airline or its alliance partners. So, if for example, this is the Malaysia Airline FFPs. Malaysia collaborate with Enrich, so they have silver, gold, or platinum. So if you are a Enrich new member, you will receive the Enrich Blue Card, the entry level of membership. So if you're traveling regularly on Malaysia Airlines and Oneworld Airlines, it is enabled for you to move up to the various elite tier levels to enrich silver, gold, and platinum. So it will unlock more privilege and benefits for you. So this is the example. Okay, next I will talk about customer service. So for the customer service, airlines were early adopters of the web and email as customer service tools, which means that a few years ago, we have to ask the customer service counter or check at the screen whether our flight is ready to departure or not. Okay. So, but nowadays, airlines now use mobile application and social media to deliver relevant, time-critical information to passengers. That includes um, airport and flight information, the notification of gate opening and changes, the alternative flights in case of cancellation or missed flight. The mobile application also can alert us in giving compensation, offers, and coupon. Okay. The combination of mobile device and social media creates a mechanism for the exchange of suggestion, complaints, testimonials, and rating throughout the journey. So it is a good example of a high-touch solution that support a high-touch response in otherwise that will increasingly automated process.
Okay, I'm Anita Eba and I will explain about the departure control system. DCS is to automate the processing of passenger at the airport. So on the slide, there will be there are 10 steps or the step of the DCS. So I will explain it. So the first is check-in. Doesn't matter it's a mobile check-in or online check-in. The second one is boarding pass. The hard copy boarding pass to formatted according to IATA standard. 3 is seat allocation. Seat allocation can be used for passengers so they can choose their own seat. Also will be displayed a graphical seat map. Okay. And also check baggage to confirm the number of baggage and also to weigh the baggage. Okay, number 5 load control. Load control means that to make sure the aircraft is balanced. So imagine, for example, like the passenger only on the left side, then no other passenger on the right side. So the aircraft will be unbalanced. So that's why load control is important to make sure the airline is balanced. Number 6 is passenger identification. Scan passport to verify the identity of the passenger. And number 7 is deny booking. Deny booking means overbooking. So the cabin crew can refuse or reject another passenger to board on the flight because of overbooking. But don't worry, the passenger that have been rejected or refused, they can still board on the flight, but with the another scheduled flight, which is the next flight, the next flight schedule. Or maybe if the worst, like they can do that, or maybe have a some issue, don't worry, the airline still give a compensation for that passenger. Number 8 is no show and standby passenger. No show means that the passenger have to do a reservation but didn't turn up for boarding. And also standby passenger means they are passengers that have been arrived at the airport but they didn't do any reservation, or maybe the passenger that missed their scheduled flight before, like connecting flight, but they missed it. Interlight connection is for the passenger that connecting flight, passenger that have connecting flight, so they can easily to check their baggage through the final destination. So in this case, or maybe the passenger delay, so they missed another flight, they can still use the interline connection to have some maybe discuss information to know about the delay, and they can still board on another scheduled flight. And so interoperability can be considered as the capability of two or more network systems, component or application to exchange info and be able to use this information for technical operations so it can be operate effectively. So I will explain for the next slide. The next slide is about in-flight technology. There are two in-flight technology, which is passenger technology and also the crew support system. So what is in-flight technology? In-flight technology are used on the airline to service passenger needs and to ensure safety. So for the passenger technology, there are in-flight entertainment or IFE. The IFE can be seen at the seat back of the passenger, either the touch screen. So this IFE can use for the passenger, so they can use for to watching a video in the seat back, so it allow passenger to watching a video, or maybe they can view the satellite TV, listen to music, order food, call the flight attendant, and many more. So another one is geographic information system, or we call it GIS. This functioning for passenger is this the same is also displayed on the IFE on the seat back of the passenger. It will display, and also it shows the location of the aircraft and also the progress of the aircraft. What the functioning is, there are live video footage on the seat back of a passenger. There are live video footage from the external camera of airline. On the screen, it will show the aircraft speed, the estimate time of arrival at the destination, and we also know, the passenger also know where the airline right now, and also the passenger also can know the outside temperature of that destination. They also can know the time at the country, and also this GIS or the IMS system can also be useful for the disabled traveler. Okay, another one is communication system. This communication system, such as tool for phone, Wi-Fi, can also communicate with other flight attendants and also other passengers. The latter system communication allow passengers to communicate with people on the ground, but even though like that, it's not, maybe the connection is not as really fast, or not, it's not that good on the ground, but at least the passengers still can use it to browse some information, to send an email, to send a text message, or doing some updates for social media. Some of the system also allow passenger to communicate with other passenger and also to invite them to play a game. Okay, for the crew support system, there are two crew in the airline, which is flight deck crew and also cabin crew. Okay, every crew use a different IT system. Pilot traditionally use a flight paper before, but mostly right now they are replacing with tablets, so it's easy for them to doing some information, update the information, and so can change the information easily without any issue. So for the flight deck crew, they use a variety kind of IT system to support the navigation, communication, and maintenance flight logs. And for the cabin crew, also important because they are provide service for the passenger, so they can also know so they also need the IT system to service their passenger. So cabin crew also use a paperless before, but today tablets are being increasingly used because it's easy to update information, detail passenger, especially for like meal request, itinerary, or connecting flight. Connecting flight is really useful for cabin crew also passenger because they can easily know what flight to change after that, where can go, and everything. If maybe like they miss the flight, they can use this for the detail. Other than that, also safety information and also timetable for the crew support system. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Afif Haikal. Today, I would like to present about passenger processing. We have pre-arrival, check-in, security, pre-boarding, and boarding. For the pre-arrival, in the system, we have GPS or Global Positioning System to detect if the customer are late. And some airport, they have geofencing facility will tell the customer where they can park their car if they using their own car. And also in the entrance, they will using their smartphone. They also have self check-in or auto check-in when they enter the entrance of the terminal. And for the next point is check-in, they have 4 types of check-in. Or this is online check-in, self-service kiosk, auto check-in using geofencing facility like I explained before, and check-in at counter. That's the traditional things. And nowadays many company don't use check-in at counter. In Malaysia, we have self-service kiosk and online check-in. For next is security. They have a key steps in security scanning for confirming traveling identity. When we enter the gates, the passenger should show their identity card or passport to confirm their traveling identity. X-ray baggage scanning to avoid any weapons or illegal things in their baggage, and body screenings. Also to avoid any illegal things in some people body, such as drug in stomach or anything for enter the other country. And next is pre-boarding technology. They have flight information display system or FIDS to tell the passenger where they should go or which gate their flight will to be. Wi-Fi hotspot, e-charging stations, and mobile apps. That's all for airport navigation and Gate Guru for the example. In Malaysia, we also have mobile apps in KLIA. The passenger can download the KLIA maps to know which gate and which way they should go to their planes. And for airport, they have point of sale and alert and notification to tell the passenger their time arrival. When the planes comes and tell to the passenger, they can go to their gates. And for the next point is stopover or transit. Normally, passengers are likely to use IT facility such as Wi-Fi, airport apps, and FIDS. FIDS is flight information display systems, like I tell before, to know which flight they should use and where is the gate they must to go. And normally at the stopover, the passenger can relax their body and have a naps and take some meals and anything they want to do. And the next point is the destination or arrival. The arrival experience become the destination airport if often the first impression visitor have at of the destinations. For the first impression, passenger comes to other airport, they can give first impression about the country. For example, when people comes to Singapore, they see the waterfall in the airport, they will become very impressed because something new that don't have in their country have at the other country. And for the arrival destination, they must provide the technology have is immigration database to look if that passenger a legal or illegal passenger. They have e-passport. Right now, we don't need to bring the red passport from Malaysia, just show our smartphones. They have a scanner and cameras to detect our face. There's a technology we have in our airport current now. This very safe to our country to avoid any terrorists come to our country. Next, I would like to tell about the baggage and cargo handling. Baggage are normally and commonly many people when they want to travel they bring their baggage. So some people bring the big baggage and luggage also. So these two things system will help the passenger and the company, especially the airports, to handle the baggage. We have bag tags with optical barcodes. This is very commonly using in Malaysia. When we check in, we will pin our bar tags and we put at our own bags without any help from stewardess, because we can do it ourselves. And then we have baggage tracking system. For example, bag tag. This is when you lost your bag in the same destination you want to go. Especially for the domestic traveling, you can tracking your bag when you go to the security system place and tell to them just show your barcode tags, and they will search and tell to you where you bags being. And that's for domestic. How about the international? For the international, we have lost baggage system or world trackers. Normally this problem happen when we go to the international airports, and they normally stuck at the transit place because the airport and the flight don't connecting for each other, and that's make we lost our baggage. But don't worry, with the technology right now we can track our bag worldwide. Don't worry about that. And we also have RFID bag tags and chip in luggage. That's for the advanced airport. We don't need to weigh our bags, just put the RFID bag tags and using any platform, and that will weigh our bags, and the bags will come to us using the another bag wallaway. So this technology can make ourselves become easy, and that's what is a good thing about technology. Okay, only that for me, and we move to the next presenter.
Hello and hi, Assalamualaikum to everyone. I am Delaila binti Saiful Badrillah. Today I will talk about ATC, which is Air Traffic Control. So its main role is to track takeoff and landing flights. It is also to ensure that it is safe and it has an efficient flow of air traffic. So using this IT system, it has 4 elements in ATC, which is the first one is the communication system. It is between the pilot and dispatchers. So usually they use a VHF, which is the very high frequency over short distances, and over long distances they would use high frequency. And there is this new system, and in a recent progress they call it ATN, which stands for Aeronautical Telecommunication Network. The second one is the navigation system. So this is between the pilot and the controller, and they use signals, especially during takeoff and maybe cruising. And the third one is the surveillance system, and it is used for the controller to monitor the flow of the air traffic, especially they use radar to know the position of it. And the fourth one is flight and weather information system. So it will help the controller to provide weather observation and forecast. So usually these 4 elements is to make sure that the air traffic is on track, and also it can be managed. So let's move on to the second topic. Now, let's look at the Environmental Management System, EMS. So, airports use IT to manage the environmental impacts. It could be impacts locally, it could be impact regionally and globally. So, let's look at these impacts. The first impact is the water quality. It could be affected by runoff from terminal buildings and fuel leaks, spills, and other solid or liquid waste. And then we have noise pollution. Noise pollution can be because of the aircraft, and it could be disturb people's sleeps, and also it can be impact on property values. And then it would affect air pollution. This is because of the CO2 in the atmosphere, which is the carbon dioxide, and it will have the effect of the greenhouse effect. And the last one is wildlife, especially it will be a threat for the bird life around the airports. So how do we manage this environmental effect? So the government has made a strict regulation about this environmental effects. So what they do is, the first one is environmental monitoring. They use computers to manage and analyze the air and water samples. And then the government also use the energy use. So they use the IT system to monitor the energy use and shut down the non-essential services that is not in use. And then for the noise, they use noise reduction, which is there's new technology that can alleviate some noise. And for the carbon dioxide problem, they can use carbon emission reduction. So there are options for passengers that can use, such as the carbon offsets that they can buy. And also they are using scientists to monitor the greenhouse effects on climate change. For the water quality, they use computerized spraying system where they apply it on aircraft de-icing fluids to reduce wastage and overspray that can run off into the waterways.